live recording. And if you're joining us live, welcome. This is episode 17 of the Creed film, Creed Part 1, or the first Creed film. And Katie, I believe you have the emails. Did you get a chance to look at it yet?
I saw that there were two emails. I was kind of running around, so I didn't read them beforehand. So we'll see if I can read today.
Okay.
So the first one is from Greg the First. Ryan, Kyle, and Katie, I hope the new year is treating you all well. I just finished listening to episode 15, and I have to say it was a small thrill to have esteemed podcaster Doug Greenberg mention me in his email to you about the Victor Cafe.
Oops, sorry. My bad. There you go. Keep going. It's working. Sorry.
Some echo? Okay.
No, it's
Okay.
gone. I got it.
So for reasons I cannot explain, I had stopped listening to Rocky Minute at some point last year, but have recently started listening again to try to get through their back catalog before they start Rocky 3. I also heard Doug as a guest on the Big Screen Sports podcast during their Rocktober celebration of the Rocky films, and he was fantastic on that podcast also. As for the GTD podcast, all I really want to say this week is that, in my personal opinion, you are about to start talking about one of the best stretches of any film in the franchise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Greg likes Creed, doesn't he?
He does. He's the Creed app, and we love Creed too. But he he doesn't really. He really likes it. He doesn't quite find the fault that we do, but he does acknowledge it's because we are fine-tooth combing it that those things will come out. But yes.
So Greg goes on to say, you finished episode 15 with Adonis telling Rocky, so if I fight, you fight. And I think this movie is pretty much perfect from that moment until the movie ends. Wow. He says, since the very first time I ever saw the Rocky movies, it has always been my opinion that the best section of any Rocky movie is in Rocky 2, when Adrian wakes up from her coma and tells Rocky to win until the end. That might be a slightly controversial take, but I stand by it, and that is why Rocky 2 has always been at the top of my list as favorite Rocky movie. But the final 40 minutes of Creed that you are about to discuss comes really close. I know that inevitably there will be the things that can be nitpicked, especially when you analyze it as closely as you do.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm really looking forward to these next few episodes and hope that you three find it to be as good as I do. Thanks as always, Greg the First.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. That was an awesome email. There's nothing wrong with saying that in the Rocky 2 moment when Adrian says win is one of the greatest moments in the franchise. That'd actually be kind of a fun pull.
Well, I think he was saying from that point on.
Oh.
The rest from that point until the end of the movie that was like the best stretch of movie. And now I think he's saying that this stretch of movie that we're going to cover in Creed is rivaling it.
Gotcha.
I think
I think you're absolutely right. I'm multitasking and I missed that. I apologize. Everything's working, by the way, that we talked about beforehand. What was I going to say? Yeah. Hey, well, Greg, we love you. You are Greg the First. It was a nice email, and I think actually when I was reading that, when he sent it to me, I was a little worried because we already recorded part of the film that he loves so much. I was like, did we really give it a lot of love? I think we did because we talked about the training sequence, and we actually really talked about how that ending part of that training sequence was one of the best parts of the film when Adonis is yelling up at Rocky and Rocky puts his hands up in the air from the window. I love that moment. So I agree. This part of onward is really the highlight of the film.
I have a favorite. Yeah. My favorite part. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Creed is not my favorite.
You've said so. Yes.
What redeemed it in my eyes is coming up. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I like Creed the most of the three of us.
Do you, Kyle? Oh, yeah, I don't think I knew that.
I wouldn't say Creed's my favorite, but it's up there. I really like it. I don't know.
It's a lot of people's. No, it's not in a bad way, but it's. I mean, look, I always say, I want the Rocky character to always be loved. So if people love Creed and they love it and Rocky's in it, great. It's old gravy and good news. I don't want people to hate the film. Not at all. I love the film too, but it is interesting to see when I see rankings of the Rocky franchise how high Creed is for a lot of people. Top 4 to 5, like at least top half easily.
It's just that the others are so good.
Guys.
Say it again.
I think I differ from you guys in that I actually prefer this over Creed 2.
Okay.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like I just when I watched Creed 2, I was like, I don't like this. Like it's not that interesting. Like it just didn't do it for me.
Is Rocky 4 not up there in your ranking, Kyle?
No, it's not.
So well, that's
actually,
why, probably.
As a kid, I really liked Rocky 4 because it's action packed, it's extreme, like it's over the top. Like that appealed to me at that time. But like now, I don't like it as much.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that if you like Rocky 4, you're like juvenile or something. I'm just saying like. Rocky 4 is quite popular.
It is.
A lot of people like Rocky 4.
That's the two. It's Rocky 4 and the first Rocky that is often the debate for first or second. Yeah.
Yep.
I think honestly, I think if I was to be honest, I think I'm the same way. The first Rocky is my favorite, and Rocky 4 is my second favorite. For two completely different reasons. They have two different. Basically, you got your meal and you got your dessert. That's the easiest way to say it.
Well, technically, Rocky 2 is probably my second favorite, just because it sort of has to be. But like from a rewatchability,
sure,
Rocky 4 wins. I think. Like I'll rewatch that over the first one, just because it's so easy to pick up at any place.
Sure. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I actually like 3 better than 4 even.
Say that again.
Like 4 is pretty low. I even like 3 better than 4. Like 4 is pretty low for me.
3 is my least favorite.
I know, that's funny. A friend of mine texts me memes about 3, and 3 is clearly his favorite. And he's like, one of these days, you're going to come over to my side and realize that 3 is the best. I'm like, you're insane.
Wow, the best. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
And I love 3. I love all the Rocky films, but like everything, there's a ranking. 3 for me is just it's aged the worst. It jumped the shark a little bit. And Rocky 5, despite its flaws, I think it righted the ship of the franchise. That's why I hold in higher regard.
Rocky 5 is creeping up for me. Like it used to be rock bottom, and then it's I don't know. Like it's flawed. It's very flawed, but it's still
the biggest
like
bummer.
It has some, I like it still. Like, and I used to hate Rocky 5. Like I used to do like the Rocky. I had the Rocky box set of 1 to 5, and I would occasionally do the Rocky marathons, and I was just like, do I have to do 5? Like, do I really have to do this? But yeah, I don't know.
All right, so now we got another. I sent you a message that I got on Twitter, but I want to make sure I give this guy the shout out if you're okay reading that. It's a picture.
Oh, so this is a tweet. Yeah, a screen capture, right?
Yeah,
like yeah. So Jared Talkstein or Talkstein, not sure.
Sure.
This is a message on Twitter.
Yeah, it was really cool that I got from. Yeah. Want to give him a shout out.
So Jared says, "Hey Ryan, my name is Jared, and I've followed your Going the Distance podcast for several years. I love it. Katie is a fantastic addition to the show. Me and 2 other friends have our own podcast called The Hyperspace, Podcasting in the 25th Century. We focus on pop culture from the 1970s and 80s, and we are all guys in our mid-40s who grew up in that golden age of entertainment. We just started a mini-series called Babbling with Balboa, and we're talking about each Rocky and Creed film. You're definitely an influence, and I hope it's okay to name drop your show on a future episode. Anyway, I thought you might be interested in listening to our first Babbling with Balboa episode, which is available now under our Hyperspace podcast feed. We cover Rocky 1 and 2 in the first episode. Rocky 3 is coming soon. I wonder if it's in bad taste to promote our podcast in the Going the Distance Facebook group? Question. If that's not cool, I totally understand, but I'm hopeful our podcast could find more listeners that way. People of like minds. We're just ham and eggers like you guys were. Anyway, I love the show and appreciate you taking time to read this. Take care, Jared Talkstein. Or Talkstein.
All right, so thank you, Jared, so much. I did listen to their first discussion. It was Rocky 1 and 2 that they covered. And, okay, for the record, I do say Rocky 1. I hate it when people, I've seen it on Twitter, it's like, a true fan doesn't call Rocky 1. And the reason why I say that is so people know that I'm talking about the film and not the character. Because it gets confusing if I just say, oh, I love Rocky. Yeah, I'm talking about the film, not the character. Oh, I love both, but it's just for conversation purposes and discussion purposes. Now when I write it out, I just say Rocky. I don't put Rocky 1. but yeah, anyways, so they did a really good job. So Jared, this is for you, and really cool. Okay, I got two things, Jared. Well, great, thank you for reaching out to me. But what took you so long? This is the first time I heard from this guy. He's been listening for years. I'm just joking. Jared, that was really cool of you reaching out, and good luck on your podcast. Here's some good news, bad news. The good news is I enjoyed your podcast, and I can't wait to hear you guys cover the rest of the series. And so everyone take a listen to that episode and to that podcast. What was it called? The Hyperspace podcast?
The Hyperspace Podcasting in the 25th Century.
Yeah, and they have a great logo, by the way. They have a really cool logo.
Yeah. The mini-series, The Babbling with Balboa, that's a cute
yeah,
little
it is,
name.
and they have a great production. They do just like us. I wonder if he took the idea from me, which is fine if he did. They insert like clips from the film when they're talking about it, so that's cool. Yeah, they did a great job, him and his other two hosts. But here's the bad news: we're ham and eggers too, and you'll probably get maybe 3 other listeners jumping from our little ham and egger show to yours. But if anyone does, go check them out. We love sharing the love. You can never have enough people talking about Rocky. And they're only doing it for a little bit. They're doing like a mini series. They'll be talking about other stuff later, but this is what they're focusing on now, and they're doing a great job. So check them out.
That's cool. On the I don't know why I just thought of this, but the ham and egger thing. All the years I've been watching Rocky movies, I've never heard that phrase used actually ever until I started listening to podcasts about like Rocky movies. I've like never heard that phrase outside of. Was awesome. It a thing? Have you guys was that a phrase that was used?
I never used it
in your vernacular.
I never used it outside. Like I started using it on myself literally because I started doing a Rocky podcast. It was just a way of like I love making fun of myself, and so it was an easy way. Like when you do a podcast, a lot of people can sometimes get in their own heads like I'm a podcaster, which I'm nobody, and it keeps me. And all of us, I think it keeps us level-headed. Like we're just small-time ham and eggers, just having fun, and so that's how. Yeah, we're not Apollo Creed. I mean, he's the best. We're just ham and eggers.
Yeah, but I wonder if that is a real expression.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
I guess you could Google it. I think that's kind of what you're asking, right, Katie?
Well, I'm sure that it is, but like there are things like, yeah. Do you mean like, or is it like a Rocky like a Rocky?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, if any of our listeners know, let us know. Hey, I got a question for you guys. Can you hear me if I do this? I'm going to mute my microphone and I'm going to cough. Did you hear that?
No,
okay, I apologize. One of our episodes, because I'm still getting over this cold, it's gone, but there's just like after effects of a scratchy throat. I accidentally, on one of our episodes, I thought I was muting the mic, but I was muting the software, not the hardware, and I was still coughing over I thought I was muted, and I felt terrible. I was like, oh, I was just coughing over these guys. It was really hard to edit. But anyways, stupid side note.
Well, we must not have, I didn't notice anyway.
Okay, all right. All right, so
self-absorbed with anything but my own comments and
all right.
About myself all the time. So
okay, so that's it for mail. That's it. That was it for mail. That's cool. And nothing new on Twitter, but follow us on Twitter if you guys want to follow us on Twitter. And also like us on Facebook, Going the Distance Rocky Series Podcast. Just Google it and it will come up. But join our Patreon to help pay for the fee, get early releases of audio, and to get the video releases. And let's go into the film. Kyle, you called it. We're at the press conference. I forget this completely, by the way.
In Liverpool. Aren't we in Liverpool now?
Liverpool.
Okay, let's check it out.
Liverpool. Hey, stop.
Oh, yeah.
Stop. I want to point out something quick here.
Oh, of course. That's why we're doing this.
Nitpicky detail. But as they showed the venue, which I don't recognize. I've never been to Liverpool. I lived in England for 2 years, but never in Liverpool. They had that siren sound outside.
Okay, yeah.
That's not a English siren. It has like a distinct noise, and it's not that. That like sounds like, maybe Adrian could correct me because it's been forever since I lived there. But that sounds like when you're in Paris or something like that. Like I wonder if someone like edited that sounded and just didn't know. But that's like one of the things it's like a weird thing to me that didn't seem authentic, but I could be off on that. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Yeah,
That is interesting. Also, I didn't know you lived in England for 2 years. That's cool.
yeah,
You know,
something we'll talk about after the show for sure. We'll give you the deets on why that was.
that picture I sent you, Katie, that was in England.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
good call.
Cool.
Good
Okay.
call there, Kyle. All right. Yeah, pictures is 1,000 words, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, that siren sound is very British. I don't know why it doesn't remind me. Yeah, they use it in the films all the time.
It's not British though. Like it's like that's like a French siren.
Okay.
I think. Like it's because I don't know. Like it seems like when I lived there was always like an ambulance or something. I lived in London and there was always like sirens everywhere, but it didn't sound like they didn't have that sound. But like in movies when you're in Paris or somewhere, it has that siren sound.
Mm.
And I wonder if like someone edited that sound and thinking, oh, it's European, therefore like, oh, they're in Liverpool, and just put it in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Good catch.
Place looks like a church.
It's like an art museum.
Hey, it's beautiful. The fight starts in about 2 minutes. As soon as he shows up, he's gonna start on you.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk real quickly there. So he says the fight starts in about 2 minutes, and when he gets here, he's just going to lay it into. I guess Adonis really hasn't had a big time press conference before.
No,
Was
never.
there was something small, wasn't there, for the Spirino fight? Or did I make that up?
They didn't show it.
Okay.
And then the Tijuana goes without saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, of course, they have to do this for the film in order for us to see it. But you think that on like the 7-hour flight to England and all the time they've had prior to this moment, they would have discussed this press conference.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Again, they have to. He has to say that here so the audience hears it. But it's like he's absolutely right. Like the psychological warfare, like Muhammad Ali really like. It's not like he made it up at these press conferences, but he really changed the nature of how these boxing press conferences went with like trash talking and psyching someone out, and now that's a big thing. So, yeah, Adonis is kind of at a disadvantage because he's never done this before ever.
True. However, Pretty Ricky Conlan has to be on his best behavior because isn't that why his last fight got pulled out because he couldn't handle himself? He punched the guy at the press conference, or maybe it was the weigh-in. One of the two.
It was the weigh-in,
Okay.
but like whatever, it's still like the same idea though.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like,
All right. No, yeah, let's watch it. I forget how Conlon tears into him, but I think he tears into him a little bit. I suspect he will. No, he's looking pretty good there.
He does clean up nice.
Yeah.
Don't let him get to you.
Okay, great. Thank you all for coming. Let's get straight into questions. Young lady to the left.
Conlon, can we expect any more fireworks at the weigh-in?
I've been doing some anger management classes and, you know, trying to control that temper of mine.
I just gotta make sure he forgets it all by Saturday night.
Okay, next question. Young man in the glasses.
What about the contrast between you two? You, the overnight success, versus Conlon's rags to riches background.
Nothing happened overnight. I've been fighting for some time now.
That's exactly how it happened for this guy. He's an overnight success, never had a damn fight in his life. He's got this shot because he found that name last night.
One more. There's a lot of talk about legacy in this fight. John.
All right, so good questions so far from the reporters?
yes, like they're the obvious questions. Like you have to ask those questions. I found Conlon's response really weird. Because he's like, the only reason he got this is because of his name. It kind of cuts at his own legitimacy. It's like he's like, I'm fighting a bum. I'm fighting someone who's easy. You know, I'm doing this because of this guy's name. Like, you know, like if you really look at it critically, he's insulting himself as much as he's insulting Adonis.
I don't think he's a critical thinker, but
Yeah,
that's a really good point.
Well, Apollo was the same. This again is Rocky: The Force Awakens. We have kind of the same beats here. We've got the champion of this area. Well, is he? This is my naivety about the whole boxing titles, because it seems like there's more now than there was during Rocky's time in the 70s. Is he the world champion? Like, is he the heavyweight world champion? Is there anyone higher than Pretty Boy right now in the world?
Well, he's the light heavyweight champion.
Light heavyweight, okay.
But there's different sanctioning bodies that have titles.
Right.
And there's majors like IBF, WCBC, like there's like a bunch of them. And so like when you say someone is the undisputed champion, what that means is they have the title from all the recognized bodies. That's why you'll have guys carrying like several belts.
Right.
Each belt is like the title from like one of the sanctioning bodies. And so if you're not an undisputed champion, that means there's someone else who also has a title. So you kind of share. And then often like Ring Magazine or something will do their top 10 fighters. And so like you might have one of the titles, but then you're not the top guy. And then there's the lineal one, which is not an act. It's the belt that they show in like the Rocky movies, like with the red, white, and blue. That there's a belt that actually doesn't look like that, and that's a lineal title holder belt, and that just means you beat the last champion. So like there's no sanctioning body that gives you that.
All right, well there you go.
I didn't know that last bit, that the lineal part. That's very interesting.
Kyle, he knows about these things.
He does. What questions would you ask, Ryan? Well, if you were a reporter at the press conference, you asked if there were fair questions.
Well, I think I guess they're. I think Kyle's answer about them being a little bit like on the nose for the audience, probably for us as an audience. Like it's kind of again speaking to the story. Hey, he just found out who he was. Hey, is he really the champion? And it's showing again that Adonis is the underdog, despite his physique and his anger or whatever it is. This guy is an underdog. He kind of came out of nowhere. He's fighting the big leagues. He's only been doing barroom brawling all this time, and now he's... So I guess it's still kind of playing to us, even as a viewer, that the cards are stacked against Adonis. He's getting honest. He's getting defensive right away too, I don't blame him for being a little defensive. He's like, I've been fighting my whole life, and Pretty Boy's like, where, who, So it's a great scene, great moment.
Well, he's not wrong. That's the thing. Like Conlon's not wrong. It's just makes him look like an idiot, right?
Oh yeah, well that's what I meant. It's like Apollo. Apollo, like he picked Rocky's name out of a hat, out of a book, and because he liked the name Italian Stallion, and he was kind of blah blah blasé about it too. So even though it was going to be like sort of like it was an exhibition, it was a real fight, a sanctioned fight for the title. But unlike Apollo, Pretty Boy's like thinks this whole thing's a joke and wants to get this over with because he's just got to do it so he can get his kid's money before he goes to jail. Whereas Apollo's like, it's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah, and then Apollo tried to play up Rocky a bit. It's like because like in the Apollo, I guess press conference, like that thing Rocky and Adrian and Paulie were watching on TV. Someone says like, but what do you think about fighting someone who has virtually no chance of winning?
Right.
And Paul's like, if American history proves one thing, American history proves everybody's got a chance to win. Haven't you guys ever heard of Valley Forge or Bunker Hill?
Well, if you can't box, I'm sure you can cook.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you?
He was like being pretty like condescending.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So let's continue.
Johnson, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I've been working on trying to build my own legacy.
Legacy? Where we at some kind of comedy club? The guy next to him? No, that's what we're talking about, legacy. And I'm cut from that cloth. My father worked on the docks. His father was heavyweight champion of the world. People like Silver Spoon over there.
You don't know nothing about me.
I know enough about you.
I'm here now, though.
I'm here now. You a false creed.
All right, I'll show you right now. My pops ain't here.
All right. There you go. False creed. False creed.
Of course, Adonis is going to react that way too, right? Because he he has anger management issues and he doesn't have self-control. Because if he was cool and collected, what he'd just say is, "Look, I don't care what he says about me. I'll prove myself in the ring Saturday night or whatever."
What's worse, false Creed or baby Creed?
There have been several of those mentions. I don't know. They're pretty, from his perspective, equal.
Are either of your parents like bigwigs in their own fields? Yeah, not
My mom kind of is.
But it's just kind of funny. I'm trying to think, like, and I love my dad, I love my mom. It's funny, like someone came up to me, "You're a false Republican." It's like, yes, you're a baby Republican. That's true. I guess I am his son. I'm older now, but I don't have any. There's no legacy that maybe I'm building my own legacy right now, but no, I have no shadow above me, for better or for worse. I've always made my own way, and my dad made his own way, and that's the way it's been in my family for generations. A bunch of just people just paying the bills and making their own way. No legacies.
That was a really quick press conference, though. Like, there were two questions asked, and it was over.
Well, the fight broke out.
I did try and calm them down. It was like, "Oh, they're upset. Let's get out of here."
Yeah. Imagine that, two fighters going at each other at the
But yeah, like, I think if I were in the media or something like that, I would probably suspect there'd be questions like, even to Conlon, saying like, "What do you think about him being trained by Rocky Balboa?" Or something like that. Like, try to bring Rocky, because Rocky's a big draw to this, right? Like, that's probably another reason why Adonis got the fight in a lot of people's mind. So, and then that question would be asked, like, "Adonis, do you think you deserve to be here? Like, what makes you think you've earned the right to do this fight? Like, how do you expect to fight someone like him when he has so much more experience than you have?" Or you could ask Conlon, it's like, "Have you been distracted in this fight? Are you taking it seriously if you're going to be going to jail after this?" Like, questions like that.
Well, those are good questions, but they weren't. Yeah.
Indeed.
Probably for the space of where are we in the timeline here? I guess there's just not enough time in the film, really. We're already at the hour and 40-minute mark.
I wonder if this is Adonis's first time out of the country, out of Mexico.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean,
Probably.
I don't go to Europe very often.
Yeah, but like, he was in Marianne's family. They could have gone on vacation or
Oh
something.
yeah, I keep forgetting. Then maybe I'm sure that with that kind of money they went somewhere. All right, it's just for our listeners on the audio. There was a knock at the door. Adonis was in his room, just thinking about whatever, and then Rocky knocked on the door.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just couldn't sleep.
Yeah, me either.
Is it okay I sit down?
Of course.
Donnie, I'd like you to do me a favor when all this is over.
Yeah, anything.
Okay, good. It's not important.
What favor? Should I say
Do you
that
think
again?
they're
Having cancer just to motivate your training, okay?
Hey,
He's gonna ask him to have a fight, just the two of them, no media, no nothing. Rocky and Adonis.
age
why not
before
have the other
beauty.
rematch with Apollo? He's not here, so you're going to step in as proxy.
That'd be funny. But I wonder how many other Rocky watchers, when they saw that, what favor went through their heads.
But just, I want to lock it in, okay?
Yeah, you got it.
There you go.
You okay? Huh?
Yeah, what?
No, you keep looking at the door.
No. Mm-mm.
Just really quickly, because Rocky has a stocking cap on, which is unusual, probably because his hair loss from the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It really does not suit him. It points out, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, he has a super strange head shape. Have you guys ever noticed, like, the back of his head is really flat?
I now, especially in this shot that Ryan's paused on,
Yeah.
But previously, I hadn't noticed.
You
that.
hadn't. He does have a strange head shape. It's really flat in the back, and this majorly accentuates that. It's not
Katie,
his
would
best
you like
look.
to learn a Canadian word?
Yeah.
What that hat's called?
Toque?
A toque, yes.
Now, I learned that from you guys listening to the podcast.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I did not know that prior.
Wow, you're learning stuff. That's amazing. We're actually education. That's where you're gonna get it. Is here.
Instamatically.
Instamatically, yeah.
It's funny because they're doing like a slight humor play thing with the looking at the door. But one thing I've always really liked about Rocky is it's like the jokes on Rocky are not like. There are some exceptions to this because but like they're often kind of more subtle.
Yeah.
Or like they're not like slapstick type of jokes, which I prefer. So.
Yeah, there's a cute little scene here. So what again for our iTunes listeners, so they're sitting on the bed and Rocky keeps looking at the door, expecting something, and Adonis says, "Why do you keep looking at the door?" And Rocky's like, "I'm not looking at the door," but he keeps looking at the door. So, of course, we know what's about to happen, and let's watch this part happen. I've got something to say about it, obviously.
Who's it?
I don't know.
Rocky, who's that?
How you doing, Bianca? What are you doing here?
Out to it killing me.
Oh, listen, you guys just keep...
We know.
Leg thing.
Yeah,
The legs, yeah.
it's important.
Gotcha.
So, of course, Rocky reminds Bianca and Adonis as he's walking away, "Hey, guys, have a conversation, but don't weaken any legs."
She's like, "You can still do stuff to me, though."
I had forgotten about this. I don't remember this part of the movie, honestly.
It's vague for me. It is. But do you see what, again, Rocky Force Awakens? I keep saying it, but what's happening here? What do we have here?
Well, this is the Adrian sees him in the cabin.
Yeah.
Novosibirsk or wherever.
Yeah, or whatever part of whatever the films. Adrian's showing, or Bianca's now showing, "I support you. I'm here for you." Of course, this is going to help. This is a thing off of Adonis' mind. Oh, because him and Bianca had that falling out. Last we saw them together, he was banging on the door, and she turned off her hearing aid. We haven't seen them together. Maybe they've had a conversation, obviously, but they haven't.
That's the last time. Wow, I never made that connection for some reason. I just thought she just didn't come for some reason, and this was like a nice little surprise.
Well, you know why that is, Kyle? Because their relationship is so forgettable. I was thinking that, I had forgotten about it too until Ryan brought it up, and then I'm like, oh yeah.
That's a good point, Katie. I think you're right.
You know what's funny? If they had shown this whole fight in sequence without Bianca even being there, I bet you people would have been like, oh yeah. There would have been any... Yeah. But now seeing her there, we're all like, oh, she's here to give her moral support and for Adonis to weaken her legs maybe after the fight. So, all right, let's see their conversation. I'm sure it's going to be inspiring, so let's check it out. Sorry, Greg the First. Sorry.
You want to come in? Please?
Still mad at you.
Oh, there is no conversation.
I will say, though, a positive note there,
of course,
was Adonis's face. That was a good, it seemed pretty genuine. The look on his face, how giddily happy he was. He couldn't hold back his smile. That was a genuine. That was genuine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Agreed. Are we ready to fight? This is it? What are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the fight now. There's not much happening.
My favorite part's coming up.
Does he have to take a poop again in this one, or no? I can't remember.
Actually, I don't know how much time elapses before it. I don't remember.
Well, there's still a half-hour film left, including probably 7 to 8 minutes of credits. So at least 20.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fights are usually 20-something minutes.
Yeah. Okay. What we'll probably do is obviously we're not going to. We can start part of the fight, but we're not going to. Even if we start the fight, we're not. Yeah, I didn't realize we were that close, but Because sometimes the fights usually take 2 episodes, anyways.
There's some pre-episode stuff.
I think
or
so.
pre-fight stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. So for our listeners, they've walked into their change room, locker room, and on the bench is a gifted box there waiting for Adonis to open up. Maybe it's a diaper. For baby Creed.
Don't we have enough surprises for one weekend?
That's not me.
And this is from his mom. It says, "Build your own legacy, Ma."
Very nice color. Why don't you take me to the room and see how well they fit?
All right, so really kind of cool moment here. Oh. What's your thoughts there, Kyle? Sorry.
I never thought of this before, but it's like build your own legacy. Here's the shorts that your father wore all the time and the ones he died in. The exact opposite of building your own legacy. Like, this is
That's a really good point. However, it says, like, aren't these the shorts that say Creed on one side and Johnson on the other side? Maybe. But,
yeah, I guess it acknowledges.
but you're
like,
right. Also, like the gift from Marianne here, this is really she's really more the Adrian character. Like, I approve now, or
Yeah.
you have my blessing now.
Okay.
Is like, don't you guys think? Like, it's more so her.
I 100% agree with you. 100%, because it's like Bianca never really had a problem with him fighting. Bianca had a problem with him being an ass or a jerk. So, and his mom's the one that had a problem with just his whole thing he's doing here. The entire thing, the fighting, everything, she has had a problem with. And so it's like her approval is the one that he really needs, or should want, because like he actually has a long-standing relationship with her. He's not just this person he met in his building that he's having sex with now. So, yeah, I think if it were me, if I were him in that situation, given my relationship there, I would definitely feel a lot better knowing that she's cool with this. I know she's watching the fight now. I know she's cheering for me. She's on my side. And I like that she got him the Creed shorts, as much as I just like crapped all over that just now.
Yeah.
It was just a note. Why did you put that note in there? Like, make your dad proud or something. I don't know. Maybe put that in there. But it's like, make your own legacy by wearing something that is like, so tied into your father.
The note didn't make sense.
Well, I have a question.
I'm sure Greg would give me shit for saying that, but whatever.
I have a question, though. We're talking about the shorts. Now, did Apollo wear those, or did she have those made in the likeness of Apollo for Adonis?
She had them made. It's very clear they're the new style of shorts. They're the longer, baggier shorts, which I don't like. I like old school, short, tighter shorts.
You like bulge in there, or
no, just like, even basket, like even me, where you could see more of the. Yes, like you can see more of their body, and it's not just like bagginess. Like, anyway,
I think that's kind of racist, to be honest.
No, it's not.
I think it's a little bit racist. I think once more African Americans got into sports, the baggier clothing came in, and like now you're saying it's not cool.
In the 60s? No, that
I'm just messing with you.
I have a question about the shorts, because now This is something that's always bothered me watching Rocky movies where they gift shorts as like a. It's the sentiment is perfect, and it makes for a great movie. But if you are about to go into a huge boxing or like a big fight, wouldn't you have already had like your like? Are you wanting to wear a brand new pair of shorts that you've never tried on before, that you've not like worked like, or does that not bother you guys at all?
I think that's like a woman's thing. So I'm just like, that's a pair of shorts. I don't know, like
How they fit, how you want to be able to move around in them just so. It would bug the crap out of me. Thanks, but I'm wearing my shorts. I'd already like.
You know, it's interesting because it's like a lot of athletes are superstitious now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, if you're connected to your like your shorts like that, and then someone's like, "Here, wear these," you'd be like, "I don't want to wear those."
So
I like my shorts.
I haven't watched them in
To me, as long as they
Ryan.
I don't care as long as they fit well enough. Like if they're like way too tight or something, I'd be bothered, or too loose, I'd be bothered. But if they fit okay, I'd be like, whatever, I don't care. And they look fine. That's okay. You know, as long as they're not like really bizarre looking, then it doesn't bother me.
I guess I'm just confused. I didn't realize. Again, are those Apollo shorts? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, because you mentioned
she had them made to look like them.
Okay, because I think Kylie said something about him Apollo dying in those shorts or something. Was that just you're just being funny or?
Well, that style of shorts.
Oh, okay.
Well, that style of shorts.
The American flag
shorts. His iconic fight with Rocky was in the Stars and Stripes shorts. Rocky had a bunch of his fights. Like the whole past is tied up in those frickin' shorts. Like every Rocky movie except Rocky 2 has them in there. So it's like.
Well, he never wore them. He didn't wear them. He didn't wear them Rocky 3 or 2. He didn't wear those shorts after Paul's death.
Rocky 3, he wore those shorts.
He wore them. Yeah, he wore them after in the second Clubber fight, didn't he?
Because
that's when
before you bring them back.
Yeah, that's when Apollo gifted them to him. Gifted the shorts.
That's so weird. I just like talking about like Mandela effect. That's weird. I just keep seeing the gold shorts in my brain, but of course, okay, I remember that scene now. Of course, you said make sure you wash them before you get back. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, these are the colors. No, was it the shorts?
Find the past.
These are the colors. Whatever. In that scene, we are made to believe they were actually Apollo's shorts because he says, "Make sure you wash them before you give them back."
Mm-hmm, that's right.
But,
that's right.
Yeah, those were Apollo's. I'm pretty sure.
Which is Apollo clearly would wear a bigger size, not because of what you guys are thinking, but just because he was a bigger man. Like he was just like he's.
Yeah, he probably had a larger waist.
But again, like this wearing someone else's shorts or brand new shorts that you've never. Ryan, would that not bother you? You'd just be like, "Oh, okay, I'll wear these."
No, I would have a hard time wearing someone else's gym clothes for sure. Okay, I'm just looking at the Rocky.
No, but even if they're brand new.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all weird to me, the whole shorts thing, but it's good. It ties. We see every character to some degree has worn either the literal shorts of the previous Creed or them. Like everyone's worn the Stars and Stripes shorts in this franchise.
I kind of forgot about the Tommy ones. Yeah,
he wore them too. When he won the champion, he was wearing them. It's kind of
not everyone. But...
Did he keep them? Did he give them back to Rocky? I don't know.
We discussed that.
How did that go?
We actually discussed that in one of our episodes. Go back and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
What was the verdict? Yes, he did.
The only verdict we could think of is that at the time, we have to assume he gave him back. We have to assume he gave him back.
He seems like too much of a dick to do that, though.
Yeah.
It'd be an awkward conversation. Like
it could have been lawyer to lawyer, representatives to representatives. That's what it could have been. It said, look, give us that. But it would have literally happened after the it would have happened like after the street fight. It's kind of weird. I guess there was probably lawyer.
For sure he kept them. He definitely kept those shorts. Rocky wouldn't afford a lawyer to go out and get the shorts.
Well, I don't know if it was a
Tommy
lawyer. I'm just
Dick-
saying. I'm just saying they got him back. We know that they got him back somehow. I don't. But that's what we said in the episode. I don't know. It was never filmed.
Yeah,
or
how
shown.
do we know? Oh.
I don't.
I would like to believe that Rocky still has them, but
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that if the events that took place in the movies that we saw, it's unlikely that Tommy was like, here you go.
It's true.
You
Yeah,
know?
maybe kept him until he died.
In high school, I had this guy that we exchanged game consoles. He had one kind and I had the other, and we traded. And then we had a huge falling out in the middle of that trade. We did have to get an intermediary to do the exchange.
There you go.
Well, actually, my adapter broke under his care, so he refused to exchange until he replaced it, and it was a big issue. So,
Oh
yeah.
wow, serious business.
Yeah, that's just a little nugget of information that the listeners really need to know.
This officially is the longest conversation about shorts in the Rocky series has ever taken place. I like it.
That's gonna bring him luck.
So yeah, I got a nice butt.
For an Italian kid.
I love that. Well, that's my beef with these new style shorts. You can't see their butt. You can't tell.
Oh.
You never been this far away from home. That don't matter. What matters is what you leave in that ring and what you take back with you. You know what that is? Pride in knowing that you did your best and you're doing it for yourself. Not for me, not your father's memory, but for you. I can see in your eyes, you're gonna do it. Let's go now. Batman.
So that was a nice little scene again for our listeners. They were doing this like swaying back and forth, looking each other in the eyes while Rocky was giving that speech that every fighter needs to hear from their trainer.
I would say with Rocky, he's a good boxing trainer in terms of like, here's these drills, or like maybe during the fight giving advice. But that's not his strong suit. I'm not saying he's bad at those things. Rocky is basically like Adonis's like psychologist or life coach type of thing. Like Rocky deals with the head stuff, and like because Rocky's been in his shoes. He knows that position, not the exact position, but like Rocky's been through this. He knows what he's thinking. He gives that advice to help Adonis like have his head in the right spot. And I thought his like little speech to Adonis there was like really short, concise, to the point, really well done.
Agreed.
And I think
Maybe he should be a life coach in the next movie.
Oh yeah, maybe Rocky 7, the life coach. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
The thumb breaking business is not a long-term career. Trust me.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go cabinet.
You're supposed to have like a full warm-up before a fight.
A full what?
But you should have a full warm-up before a fight. Like you should come out to the ring with a full sweat going.
Oh, really?
Be like fully warmed up, ready to go. Yeah, like just like they like that scene of him punching. You see that all the time on TV for real fights, but like even before that, you need to have like he's kind of dry here. He seems tense. He's gonna seem tense in the fight. Like it's important to have that warm up, and they didn't show that.
Okay, yeah, maybe it already happened.
I didn't know that.
But I didn't know that either.
Good point.
Yeah.
But he should have a full sweat on it. Now, I'm gonna say this: most boxing movies wouldn't do that, but if like you had to have the authenticity there, that would have been a good way to do it.
Interesting. You do know about those things. Okay, so for our listeners, what they're doing right now is the Team Creed are walking out. It's kind of a cool shot because you got the camera behind the crew as they're walking to the arena.
I'd always get nervous during
And it
times
must
like
be
this,
the
but
it must be England's like
Oh, this isn't in England.
Oh, whoa, what?
Oh, like I don't like there's a screw up. There's a sign that says exit. They don't have those in England. There's no such thing as a sign with the word exit. In Europe, there's a very
Really?
specific thing. It's like it's not in words. It's like a picture of a guy, and like you could Google this like European exit sign, and then an arrow, and then a doorway, so like anyone can see it.
I'm just looking at where the.
Well, clearly they didn't film. That's a really good call. Good call.
It says film.
But
Yeah, it does say that
that
the.
must be Great Britain's.
Oh yeah, we'll have to. I guess Brian Grankel or.
Well, they might have had some parts of it in England, but this hallway is not in England.
Okay.
You will not have a red exit sign like that.
Interesting. Well, we
Well,
know.
yeah, they wouldn't have had to. It would surprise me if. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. I would never have known that, having never lived in Europe. But yeah, I think the majority of this film was filmed in Philadelphia, so maybe those outdoor shots and all that stuff. But where they had that press conference, I'd be interested to know what building that was.
Looks like that. You can see it. I guess not.
There's a glare on it
Yeah.
a little bit, but I think I know what you mean. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that they didn't film it in England, but those are the little details that.
The deets.
The deets.
Yeah,
Very
that
important.
should be caught. But I'm assuming that what we're hearing in the background is their national anthem. I'd have no
No.
idea. No?
No, God Save the Queen is their national anthem.
Oh, okay.
It's like their sports thing.
Okay.
How dare you not know everything about every culture in every country? Typical
don't know.
typical Americans. No.
Let me tell you that you're not wrong. However, the Russian national anthem is actually pretty awesome.
It is
and
awesome.
I just still remember that from
It is awesome.
Have you heard like I listened to it not too long ago, but in English?
What does it
Like there's
say?
like the English
Terrible.
translation. It is hilarious because several times they're like the Soviet Union will endure forever.
That's funny.
Like our republic will ever endure.
All right, let's see if we can get to
My favorite part's coming up, you guys.
Oh, okay. So we'll keep going. It's not before the fight. I mean, it's not during
Yeah.
the fight, or is it before the fight?
It's before the fight.
Okay, that's good. That's perfect. We'll stop it right after.
I'd always get nervous during times like this, but that's normal. And it's going to give you energy. Very normal. Very normal.
All right, so the crowd's booing him now. I know booing does happen, but why would they? Are they just that? I guess that's normal.
Don't mute it.
Oh, sorry. I'll go back.
Pause it. Pause it. You gotta go back because this is my favorite part.
The song.
But say what you're gonna say.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
Song.
Yeah, I'm just confused. What your favorite? Don't tell me. I apologize for muting it. Okay, we'll just keep playing. We'll keep playing. We'll keep playing. I won't pause. You tell me.
No.
I'll tell you.
Well, no, but you were setting it up.
Oh,
for
I
the
was just gonna
listeners.
say. Yeah, I was just gonna
Right?
say that the crowd's booing them as they're going towards the ring, and it's pretty strong boos. I mean, I know he's a foreigner. He's he's from the States, but he hasn't said anything derogatory about the champion or anything like that. Like, it's just interesting that, like, I know you're gonna root for your guy, but like, I watch hockey. That's the only sport I really watch. Okay, but I never find it within me, even when I go to live games. I never boo. I never boo the opponent. I always wish them the best because I want my team to beat the best. You know what I mean? I don't. It's a weird concept. I don't. There's players I don't like, but
You're
I guess
a better person
no,
than most people.
I don't know about that.
Most Montreal hockey people like that though. I heard Montreal fans are brutal.
They are. No, I don't like when they do that. Actually, that's just maybe it's me. I don't like booing. I don't like the idea of it. I like cheering.
Nice guy.
I like cheering, but they're just people too who are trying to do their best in competition. I don't see the need to say boo on you. You ever watched that Princess Bride?
It's been a long time, but yeah.
You know, when she does that boo.
One thing I liked with Rocky.
So say that again, Kyle.
That reminds me of Simpsons when with Boo Earn.
I missed that.
Are you there?
Yeah, I know. I just missed.
Or you froze up.
Yeah, my internet's just.
Oh, never mind. I was just talking about. I had a couple things.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I heard you.
Did you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. That's one thing I liked about Rocky IV when he got booed hardcore by the Soviet audience. One detail they got right was in Russia they whistle instead of booing. Like whistling is a form of booing there. And they had people whistling. They made a point of showing that. I thought that was cool.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
someone researched. That's great.
Oh, unlike us, they actually researched. That's good. That's good. All right, let's play your favorite part of your movie.
Yeah, it's the walkout song.
Okay. We'll keep it playing.
So
you go ahead, you can speak over it if there's no real talking here.
I don't know if there are any other like 90s, early 2000s rap fans that are listeners, but if there are, they will recognize this song, and it's an amazing choice.
Who is it? Tupac?
It's a 20-year-old song. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
It's Tupac's Hail Mary.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not familiar with
Which
quite ignorant.
Sorry, say that again, Kyle?
I said when it comes to rap, I'm quite ignorant.
Me too.
You guys, next to Rocky, Tupac is my second love. So the moment I heard that, the second that I heard that, because again, Creed not being my favorite, and I heard that, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because this is 2015. Tupac's Hail Mary was at this point, 20 years old. Like they're using a super old song and like an amazing one. And like Nas was on the soundtrack and stuff like that. So like their musical choices are really good. It seems like athletes use more current music when they do their walkouts, but I loved this because I like old things, and it was a 20-year-old song, and it's like the best rapper that ever lived.
That's cool. No, that's great. No,
so
no,
good.
no.
So
that's
I don't
good.
know. I hope there are other listeners that enjoy that era rap like me. And
I'm sure there is.
loved
And
that
if there
bit
isn't, that's
as well.
fine.
Well, I'm sure Tupac enjoyed watching that from the secret hideout.
What's that, Kyle?
I'm sure Tupac enjoyed seeing his song there from his secret hideout.
I wish. Oh, I wish.
That's great. Oh, yeah, he's alive and well. Well, it's a good spot to end it because we're about to get the entrance of the opponent, of course, Pretty Boy. And I think what we'll probably do, maybe the next episode will be a full-on, just a fight. I don't know. It's tough. I can see it being 2 episodes. It's going to have to be 2 episodes. And it's weird to think that's it. 2 more episodes, we're done. Creed. Because
unless we do Ricky's walkout, like so we get right up to the fight and then maybe,
okay, yeah, no, that's fine. You don't know?
One question I'd like to ask is, if you guys were a famous boxer, just real quick, what would your walkout song be?
I think I've been asked that before.
Mine would be Tupac's "Hit 'Em Up."
Oh.
See, okay, I'll let Ryan think about his. I kind of want to go the poly route of having a totally absurd song to walk out to, just because I like being that way. And so I'd have like something for like Billy Joel, like Uptown Girl or something like that. Uptown girl, living in her little white bread.
That'd be great. I don't know. Let me mull it over.
That's awesome.
Maybe like Eminem, "Lose Yourself" or something. I know it's cliche, but it is a really good pump up song. All right, let's. Yes,
it is.
Let's see.
That's true.
Pretty Boy walk out.
This is what you wanted, what you got, and I want you to enjoy it, okay? Do that.
This is quite the crowd.
Yeah, they're already calling him out.
If she got to go, tell her don't waste my time. Police wanna stop me, search my clothes. Tell them don't waste my time. If it ain't money, I ain't involved. No. Tell them.
Just gonna turn down the song a little bit so it doesn't get blocked too much. Oh, I remember that flame scene being shown in the trailer. Anybody else remember that in the trailer? They showed that.
I don't. Is he supposed to? So he's there. Is he supposed to be of like, like a the term gypsy isn't used anymore, but like gypsy traveler type? Like, is that what this is?
A pikey is what they use.
What do they say?
So, they'll say a pikey. That's a Tyson Fury, the current champion, comes from pikey stock.
Oh,
traveler
okay.
stock.
I mean, he has like his accent is like sort of that way, so I didn't know if that the flamethrower. That's the only reason I wondered.
All right, so yeah, I don't know. So
I
Pretty
don't
Boy,
know.
pretty.
He's just trying to like show off.
I keep calling him Pretty Boy, so it's just Pretty Ricky. Colin is coming out, and he's wearing all black in his robe. His team's wearing all black with white lettering.
They call him Pretty Boy Ricky Conlon too, don't they?
Okay.
Oh.
So the crowd's cheering the class. Conlon.
This is a packed, enormous arena as well.
Yeah, big crowd.
It's funny, Conway does this little move where he walks over and just leans against the side of the ropes. And that's so telling. Like, he's really trying to be like the domineering alpha male kind of guy. He's just showing him like, look, I'm relaxed. I'm good. I'm comfortable. I know you're not.
I thought the same thing. Exactly.
I'm in your face.
This is his
Like,
territory.
Same in the in the press conference, interrupting him all the time. Like, he's just like, he is all over this guy. He has no respect for him whatsoever.
This shot, actually, Ryan, that you have it paused on, also just kind of drills down for us the tiny little corner of Creed versus this big entourage that Conlon has in the opposite corner.
Well, he needs 5 guys
I think
to
it's
carry
like
his belt.
1/8 of Clubber Lang's entourage. Yeah.
Well, we'll stop it there. That's a good part to stop because the fight's going to roll in. So we'll probably do fight part 1, and then the build up, and then just as that tempo of what's going to happen, because there's a little bit of an ending after the fight. So what we'll do is do fight part 1 and then fight part 2 leading to the end of the film. That's crazy. I for some reason I thought we had more episodes left on this film, but I guess we kind of really don't. The fights usually go pretty quick because it's hard to obviously podcast about the fight other than just we always end up doing an okay job, but I get nervous when it comes to the fight time because when translation to an audio podcast is kind of like Adonis is punching now. Pretty's punching. So obviously this will be I will recommend if people want to watch us commentate on it, it might be a good time to watch the video because we're going to probably mute a lot of the fighting and we can talk over the fight as it's happening and just mention a couple things here and there because, hearing the punches just to hear the punches doesn't do anything. Yeah. I'm excited.
I have an idea for future episode.
Ooh. Okay,
Maybe we'll talk off camera about it.
Yeah.
I just had I think it's a good idea.
Sure. All right, well, that was fun. Well, Greg's right. This last part has gone by very fast. It's funny how we're watching this now. It just seems like since the, hey, if you're gonna fight, I'm gonna fight type thing. That scene, it seems like from that moment on, that's the win moment of this film. It's gone by very quickly. You guys think the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, yeah, and he's right. Like this, the first 3/4 of the movie are like, but then it is better from then on.
All right. Well, that's everything. If you want to, if you want to send us an email, by all means, gtdwithrr@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, again, what that does ultimately just helps pay for the feed. It's not free, and maybe I get a couple dollars for all my editing because it takes forever. And if you want to watch the live feeds and stuff, come check out Patreon as well, because these videos that we record live during this video we did record on Twitter and on our YouTube page, so maybe that might account for some of the lag. I apologize. It's probably my fault because I can't wait till I go back to Victoria because I'm getting incredible internet. Like right now I'm only downloading like 120 megabytes or whatever this MP, whatever it is, but the internet that we got lined up for us when we move back is a gig per. So it's like going to be 10 times faster. So the streaming will be, yeah. So anyways. Well, it's your turn, Katie.
Ding, ding.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Stick around. I'm going to stop streaming, but you guys stick around.